American a day, every 25 fucking seconds, someone is viciously raped, someone is brutally violated. 250 times a day, someone is murdered, someone's life is taken in America. This is America. This is America, and I love America. I love America.
Enough time. I don't know how much time elapsed before he was able to stand there and start asking people one by one what their religion was. Are you a Christian? He would ask them. And if you're a Christian, stand up. And they would stand up, and he said, good, because you're a Christian, you're going to see God in just about 1 second. And then he shot and killed them.
Our dear leader is making his way to the city of Roseburg to talk about gun control. What do the residents of Roseburg think about that? They're pissed off, man, because even after the UCC shooting, they understand that gun control is not the answer. UCC was already a gun-free zone, and it didn't work. Residents understand that it takes the police 5 to 10 minutes to arrive on scene at a mass casualty event. 5 or 10 minutes might not seem like a long time, but when somebody is unloading on unarmed civilians, 5 minutes can seem like forever. Making guns illegal isn't gonna stop criminals, or terrorists for that matter, from getting a weapon. In Europe, for example, citizens aren't allowed to carry weapons, or to even own a weapon. Yet, just about every other criminal out there has a gun. Shootings do occur in Europe, ladies and gentlemen, even with all the gun control laws that they have. We've seen the terror-related ones on TV recently, and there's 1,000 times that many that occur that you never even hear about. Why? Because it's obvious that gun control isn't the answer, and the last thing they want to do is advertise that fact. That's why you don't hear about the thousands of shootings that occur in Europe, and given how stupid criminals are, if they don't have a gun, they'll just use something else, like a car. We've also previously covered how easy it has become to print an assault weapon from the comfort of your own home with a 3D printer. So even if you were able to outlaw guns and recover each and every single gun that's out there, everybody and their nephew would be printing guns for extra cash. So gun control is not the answer. The right to bear arms is as important as every other right in our Constitution. Free speech, the right to privacy, the right to an attorney, the right to bear arms are all part of what it means to be an American. If liberals don't like what it means to be an American, let them go back to Mexico or wherever they came from. If we disarm the American people, then they become powerless to defend themselves from would-be criminals, from would-be tyrants. They would become powerless to defend themselves from those that want to take their rights away. And believe me, ladies and gentlemen, there are plenty of people out there in politics today that want to take your rights away. The linchpin is the Second Amendment. It protects every other right that you have. Every genocide started the same way. The tyrants took the guns, the citizens became powerless to defend themselves, and they got wiped out. Had some of the students or staff at UCC been armed that day, they could have saved some lives. Why doesn't the mainstream media talk about that? How many lives could have been saved at UCC that day had it not been a gun-free zone? Do you think criminals care if a zone is gun-free or not? The answer to this problem is twofold. One, we make it easier for law-abiding citizens to conceal and carry. And two, we start taking violence out of TV and out of movies and out of music. When you listen to classical music, you end up being tranquil and at peace. However, when you start listening to some gangster rap straight out of Compton, what do you want to do? Well, you want to go mess some people up. It's the same thing with movies and TV. We're brainwashing young people into being a menace to society. Here's a solution for liberals. Why don't you add a tax on everything that promotes violence? Go ahead and tax all your liberal friends out there in Hollywood and use that money for victims and re-educate people in high crime areas like Chicago and Baltimore and so on.
Deport British citizen Piers Morgan for attacking Second Amendment. Take a look. More than 104,000 people have signed it so far. And joining me now is one of the people behind the petition, Alex Jones. He's host of the Alex Jones Show. Welcome to you.
Piers, thanks for having me.
Why do you want to deport me?
Well, we did it as a way to bring attention to the fact that we have all of these foreigners and the Russian government, the official Chinese government. Mao said political power goes out of the barrel of a gun. He killed about 80 million people because he's the only guy that had the guns. So we did it to point out that this is globalism, and the mega banks that control the planet and brag that they've taken over, in Bloomberg, AP, Reuters, you name it, brag that they're going to get our guns as well. They've taken everybody's guns but the Swiss and the American people. And when they get our guns, they can have their world tyranny. While the government buys 1.6 billion bullets, armored vehicles, tanks, helicopters, Predator drones, armed, now in U.S. skies, being used to arrest people in North Dakota. The Second Amendment isn't there for duck hunting. It's there to protect us from tyrannical government and street thugs. Take the women in India. Your piece earlier on CNN I was watching during Anderson Cooper's show didn't tell you that the women of India have signed giant petitions to get firearms because the police can't and won't protect them. The answer is, hey, wait a minute, I have FBI crime statistics that come out a year late, 2011. 20+% crime drop in the last 9 years. Real violent crime, because more guns means less crime. Britain took the guns 15, 16 years ago, tripling of your overall violent crime. True, we have a higher gun violence level, but overall muggings, stabbings, deaths, those men raped that woman in India to death with an iron rod 4 feet long. You can't ban the iron rods. The guns, the iron rods, Pierce, didn't do it. The tyrants did it. Hitler took the guns. Stalin took the guns. Mao took the guns. Fidel Castro took the guns. Hugo Chavez took the guns. And I'm here to tell you, 1776 will commence again if you try to take our firearms. Doesn't matter how many lemmings you get out there on the street begging for them to have their guns taken. We will not relinquish them. Do you understand? That's why you're going to fail, and the establishment knows no matter how much propaganda, the Republic will rise again when you attempt to take our guns. My family in the Texas Revolution against Santa Anna, my family was at the core on both sides starting that because Santa Anna came to take the guns at Gonzales, Texas. Pierce, don't try what your ancestors did before. Why don't you come to America? I'll take you out shooting. You can become an American and join the Republic. You will not take my right. You go through background checks to get guns. How about Prozac? You know the number one, oh, that's the big sponsor, isn't it? Or that whole class of drugs.
Let me ask you a question.
Oh, got to cut that off, don't you? Don't want to talk about the U.S. number one cause of death is suicide now because they give people suicide mass murder pills.
Calm down.
Your answer is give more money to the psychiatrists and psychologists to put more crazy people on drugs that make them kill people, Pierce.
Let's try and have a debate here.
Yeah.
Answer me this question.
I'm sick of the same old script here, bud.
It's fine, bud. How many gun murders were there in America last year? Do you know?
There were about 11,458, and about 74% of those were gang-related, gangbangers shooting each other. You get 3,500 to 4,000.
That wasn't the
How
question.
many people died from infections in hospitals? 197,000.
Let me just ask you a second
That's
question.
right.
How many gun murders were there in Britain
How many
year?
great white sharks?
No, how many
kill people every year, but they're scared to swim.
Right. How many gun murders?
Matt Drudge challenges Barack Obama to give up his guns. The news icon calls on the president and Hillary Clinton to relinquish their Secret Service protection.
I challenge Hillary. Take away your Secret Service. Take it away now. Have no security around you. Have no guns around you, Hillary. I dare you. I dare you. Obama, same thing. Drop your guns, Obama. Take your Secret Service away, Obama. Take it all away. Leave the White House unguarded, Obama. Let everybody know there's no guns on the White House grounds, Obama. You know what would happen in 30 seconds? Both of those people would no longer be on planet Earth. So they're asking us to drop our guns and to drop our security measures, or what? So this thing is very real, and I don't see how it's being taken seriously except for the sick voter.